Coach K is infamous for working the refs. What's he saying to him? Does he try to mentor him? Like, you guys are great young men.
Oh, no. If you were courtside to hear Coach K talk to refs, you would blush.
Oh, any quotes you remember?
You never degrade referees, but, he would definitely call them motherfuckers. I mean, motherfucker was like saying he or she. Like, he just always cussed. And I think after a while, refs just were like, yeah, I don't want to deal with Coach K anymore, so you're like, I'm not going to call these crap fouls to anymore.
Games with Names is brought to you by WynnBET. It's my favorite app, and it could be yours. Go download it now. April 2nd, 2001, Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
A blue blood of the West.
A blue blood of the East.
Hall of Fame coach versus Hall of Fame coach.
And a national title on the line.
This is the 2001 NCAA National Championship, Duke versus Arizona.
Hello, welcome to Games with Names presented by WynnBET. I'm Sam Morril.
And I'm Julian Edelman, and we are on the search to find the greatest game of all time. And on today's episode, we have the 2001 NCAA Championship, Duke versus Arizona with Shane Battier. Big episode.
And maybe we'll hear a little from Gilbert Arenas too. We don't know yet, but that would be pretty
Agent
cool.
Zero?
Agent Zero. Dude.
Agent Zero. But first, we'll head back to the world of pop culture in 2001. That'll be fun. Then we'll take a look at these squads. And finally, we'll talk legacy of this game and score it.
And make sure to check out Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, and make sure to rate and review us. And comment on a game you want to see us.
We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Why are we doing this game?
I mean, this is iconic, man. It doesn't get bigger than this. Lute Olson versus Coach K. Lute, famously the father of Mary-Kate and Ashley. And
is it?
No, it's not.
I was going to say that's really good. That's tight.
But he was in charge of a sick team here. Both these teams were loaded with NBA talent.
Loaded. And the crazy thing is, they didn't they weren't crazy pros. Richard Jefferson. He
had a great few years with this Nets, NBA champ with the Cavs. RJ and Arenas probably the best career.
Arenas,
and I guess Boozer he was an all-star.
But Battier, I remember him being like the all-star of this.
Yeah.
This whole thing. He was like Mr. Duke, best player in college.
Senior. Like, how often are guys playing till they're seniors now?
No one.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I want to make that money, that guap, that Gouda, that cheddar. That guacamole.
But this
hella money.
This was the championship that ushered in the new era of Duke basketball. You're right. I mean, this wasn't like a Kyrie Irving on Duke. It wasn't like a swaggy guy. They even mentioned in the game, they're like, this isn't the most, talented group, but they all were. And I'm like, dude, it's Chris Duhon, who's an NBA player. It's Mike Dunleavy, who was an NBA player. Boozer, Battier. Who am I missing here?
Jay Will.
Jay Williams, who,
shout out. I met him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, was he cool?
Really cool.
Yeah,
and he's great on ESPN.
He's great. He really got done dirty by the motorcycle accident. Hard to say he got done dirty. He was driving, but
I remember that. When was that? That's why
his rookie year, I think, right? Because he was like 10-5 as a rookie, which is like for a point guard pretty good. I remember being like, this dude is going to figure it out in the pros.
Yeah, I remember him. He had a lot of hype coming out, and then that motorcycle thing happened, and he just wasn't the same. But
take a fucking Uber. I guess or a cab back then.
I mean,
hire a driver. I don't know.
Who else has gotten Bumgarner? Motorcycle
didn't Big Ben get on one?
Big Ben,
yeah.
Motorcycle. Maybe athletes shouldn't ride motorcycles if you're making a lot of money.
Terrible idea. Well, you never would have done something like that.
My dad never let me get a motorcycle. He was pretty smart about it. He's like, yeah, he's crazy. Shouldn't drive a motorcycle. Probably will die.
It's a fucking horrible idea. I can't ride a bicycle well, so I see dudes on. I tried to ride a bicycle on the West Side Highway, and dudes are just weaving. I'm like, I wipe out.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you?
I ride the bike around the city here in New York, and I'm going in between traffic and shit. It's definitely very thrilling, and yeah, you
have slightly better lateral balance than I do.
Got it.
You got it.
Got it. I mean,
NFL player.
Catch. Oh,
that hit this. That wasn't there.
Gotcha.
You did get me.
Fuck. That's 2. 0 for 2.
Fuck.
I'm going to just start doing that. I'm going to start throwing things at you. We're going to see how it'll be the catch count. We need to get a WynnBET prop count on how many times he'll catch out of 10.
Who dropped?
Almost.
Who's dropped the ball more times, me or my biological father? Am I right? All right.
Well, the fact that I don't know anything about him, probably him.
First thoughts, gut reactions. I mean, for me, it was just this was like, you don't see games like this anymore.
No, this is classic, like pre one and done.
Yeah.
NCAA basketball. This is when guys played all 4 years. You know, you got the ACC and the Pac-10, which those were the 2 conferences back in this time.
Yeah.
That you always watch. You always heard of Arizona. You know, Arizona, UCLA, and then on the ACC, Duke, North Carolina, and you got a little bit of both of them. Coach K, Lute. You know, this was fun to go down memory lane, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't quite remember when we booked this. I was like, all right, it's Duke, it's Battier, but then you watch the game, I'm like, oh, okay, it brought me back. I was like, these were NCAA basketball teams.
They were iconic, man. I mean, it really, you think of those Duke teams before this, even like Christian Laettner, Grant Hill. There's so many iconic Duke players, you know?
And then Coach K.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, Coach K cracks me up.
Yeah.
He's one of those, like, you watch him and you think, like, all right, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, but he's almost extra with his mentorship. Like, immediately after the game, he goes and shakes every kid's hand on the other team and, like, lets them know, hey, good job, guys. You guys are outstanding young men. Like, that kind of stuff. I mean, get out of my face. We just fucking lost to you. Go home, Coach K.
Too much.
It's too much. It's too much. But
he's a legend. I mean,
he's a legend.
He is the best college basketball coach ever, right? I mean,
I'm more of a Bobby Knight kind of guy. I want to throw a fucking chair and slap a kid.
Bobby, you know what I don't like is you know how he's saying horrible shit to you? Because he cares. How about you just care by being nice? There's other ways to care.
Yeah.
It's that abusive shit.
He really cares. He broke his son's arm. That's how much he cares.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chris Brown used the same excuse. I care. All right, well, be nice. How about that?
And Coach K, I was just joking. If you want to come on Games with Names, we'd love to have you.
He'd be a great guest.
He would mentor us the whole time. Tell us how outstanding we are as young men, and our upbringings were probably huge parts of our life, and everything happens for a reason. And thanks, Coach K.
If we get him on, let's get black-haired dye jobs, both of us.
Got to.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Got to. I'm dude. He's like, that thing's like the hair. I don't know what
the hair is perfect.
The hair. Let's go back to April 2nd, 2001, #1 movie, Spy Kids. Never saw it.
Never saw it. I remember it was you were telling us before, Jack. It's Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, sneaky Robert Rodriguez. It's also part of the Machete universe. Machete is like the uncle in this movie.
Is he?
Yeah, Danny Trejo's in this.
Is it violent?
Cheech Marin.
Trejo's in it?
Yeah.
Trejo's got some taco stands out in L.A.
I saw
a bunch
that.
of them. I tried them. They're all right.
Yeah, they don't look amazing.
I mean, they're too commercial. I need to see a cockroach going by the taco truck for me to know that it's real Mexican, good Mexican food.
That sounds horrible.
It's amazing.
A cockroach? All right, guys, fail your inspection, and Julian will eat at your place.
Only Mexican food, though.
Yeah,
only Mexican.
If you have vermin in your store, you can land
vermin.
NFL legend. Yeah, I don't know, rodents, rats.
Is that what that is?
Isn't it? Roaches too are vermin, aren't they? No.
Let me check on that.
Damn, we're using the research. this early. I'm really fucking phoning this one in.
I'd never even heard of vermin, so that's pretty cool. You
Vermin.
learn
Oh,
something new
geez.
every day.
New Yorker, you better know that word.
You have to. I mean, there's a lot of things running around on these streets.
Yeah, because you hear a realtor sneak that one in. Any vermin? Oh, no vermin. There's vermin. Vermin Edwards.
Examples include, but not limited to, mice, rats, and cockroaches.
What's up?
I need to
True
get
New Yorker.
need to get that up. Sports. The XFL.
Oh no, we didn't know. Number one song was Ashanti. That was a classic. Foolish. You remember that? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Of course.
Classic.
Ashanti didn't. No, that's Aaliyah. I was thinking Aaliyah.
No,
I was
she
about to say
died.
RIP.
Yeah, that was sad. I used to love her.
That was mad sad. She was great.
She was in a movie, wasn't she, Aaliyah? She was
Romeo
in a-
Must Die,
Yeah,
dude.
Romeo-
Jet Li.
Jet
We're I love being the same age exactly as you.
Yeah,
We watch the exact same shit.
yeah. That was a. I think Jet Li. He had way more meat on his bone.
He was awesome.
He was awesome, but he didn't have he wasn't Jackie Chan.
Well, Jackie Chan was funny.
Jet
Funny
Li.
takes it to a next level.
Funny's money.
Funny's money, dude.
Funny is money. That's the one thing I've learned over my time.
You know
don't
what?
want to be cool. You want to be funny.
You're both, dude.
No, you got to be funny.
You're both.
You're funny.
You're money, dude.
You're honey.
You're hot.
You're well,
dude. I remember. I remember at Aaliyah, and you might have to fact check this too, but I don't know if it was like the Video Movie Awards or the Video Music Awards on MTV. LeBron was a rookie, and he was presenting with Aaliyah, or not Aaliyah, fucking
Ashanti.
LeBron's presenting with Ashanti, and he goes, it'd be really cool if you kissed me right now, and she wouldn't do it.
Shoot
and
or shoot.
But I remember LeBron. I was like, I knew he'd be great in that moment.
Shoot or shoot.
The fact that he went for the kiss on TV and got denied and wasn't rattled, I was like, that's a fucking future legend, dude.
As Wayne Gretzky used to say, you miss all the shots you don't take or something like that. I thought it was I said that on a panel literally yesterday. I was like, oh, Michael Jordan used to say that. And some lady goes, that was Wayne Gretzky. I'm like, hey, this is my fucking panel, all right? This is my panel. You be quiet.
That was
Michael Scott also said it.
that's true.
And Michael Scott.
Damn, his research game is on point today. He didn't even have to look that up. He had
Jack Attack. Jack Attack.
I got
All
my
right,
mud. I'm ready to go.
XFL had its first and only season. Loved the XFL. Let's wrestle to see who gets the ball.
It was
Remember that?
dumb. It was just bad football.
Yeah, but it was awesome. He hate me.
He hate me.
Remember, he hate me. That was on his back. You could put anything on the back of your name, on your jersey.
Rod Smart.
Yeah, Rod Smart. He hate me.
Usually, when Vince McMahon blows money like that, it's a disgruntled female employee. All right. No, that was. I remember my friend's dad was all in on the XFL, so he was like, "We're going. It's going to be amazing." So my friend's dad took us, and I was like, "This is pretty bad." Honestly.
It was really bad. It's just you can't. All these new startup leagues for football, it just doesn't work
because you don't realize what goes into it. It's so much.
Yeah, and the liability, it's insane. You know how they decided who got the ball?
How?
They would just throw the ball in the middle of the field, and you have two guys that had to chase, and whoever got the ball, that's how you got the ball.
That's actually kind of cool.
Wasn't it something like that?
I kind of like that.
Yeah. And then what was something crazy about the punts? There was no fair catch.
Yeah, no fair catch.
You could just hit the guy?
You could fucking murder the guy.
That's hilarious.
It's every
that's actually the only stuff I like about it, the bringing the violence. Although that's the problem is, make it more WWF or WWE. Bring weapons in there. That's a game I would watch. If you could tackle a dude with a steel chair.
Or a nunchuck.
A nunchuck?
Nunchuck.
Yeah, you just have a middle linebacker who's just fucking Bruce Lee and that shit. That would be.
They had a couple of cool innovations that held over, though, which were Steadicam guy, on the field.
Yeah.
Like you see in the end zone after they score a touchdown. The Skycam.
Skycam was huge. Yeah, the NFL did poach some stuff from it.
Micing players up.
Micing players up. No, we mic'd up. No?
This
but this was 01.
They didn't mic up before this?
I don't think at the level the XFL had them micing up.
Miking up is big.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It brings the fan inside the game so much.
Yeah.
Just even hearing the contact, those things. It's I think that's
just
huge.
Hearing the hits. You're like, holy shit.
or just guys talking.
I can't believe you got hit like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you ever actually miss it?
Yeah, the body craves contact.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to it. That's what always knocked off the old the nervous flies. You know, you get hit once, all right, we're ready to play.
Then you're ready to go.
You're ready to go.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Roger Clemens became the AL all-time strikeout leader.
The Rocket, man.
The Rocket. I one time I went to a Red Sox game. He was supposed to be in the box that I was sitting in. Never showed up. I was sitting there waiting. I wanted to see the Rocket.
Just like the end of his Yankees career, never showed up.
Never showed. He did though, didn't he?
At the very end, they had that. Remember when he came back as a hired assassin mid-season, and he was like 42, and I was like, "This ain't working."
No.
He was obviously had a couple great years with the Yankees, but I had issues with Clemens, man. I was a Yankees fan, but the way he headhunted Piazza, that was fucking lame. That was lame.
No,
I don't think he was a nice guy.
No, definitely not. He was out for blood.
But he was boys with Andy Pettitte, and that kind of endeared me to him a little because we loved Andy Pettitte.
You guys loved him here.
Andy Pettitte was awesome. That was a great pitcher.
Andy Pettitte.
But yeah, no, I mean, they were like boys, but I don't know. Tiger won the second Masters here.
I love Tiger. I love Tiger.
Yeah, he's a man.
At this time, well, as a golfer.
Are you a good golfer?
No, I'm terrible. But like one of my favorite things to watch, as in this time of our life, was the Masters because of Tiger. Like It seemed like he was just always in it.
He was unreal.
It was like clockwork. I remember talking with my like football coach in college. Anytime it'd be on, like because we'd be in for spring break or spring training and stuff, we'd all be in the locker room watching it. I mean, it was unreal, his dominance. And he honestly grew the sport bigger than anyone because that's why it's so competitive, because every little kid wanted to be Tiger Woods. It was gnarly.
Yeah, you want to be him until you see his childhood in that doc. That looked rough.
Terrible.
Look, the dad knew what he was doing into making a Superman, but I mean, that looked 2 years old, golfing, no life. I mean, that's why he was fucking like crazy.
I mean, builds up a lot of tension.
Of course, you never fuck your whole life. I mean, he's basically an Amish guy with talent. They fuck. I don't know why I said Amish. They have a lot of kids, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do.
I really blew that comparison.
They don't use condoms either.
That's true.
Because I don't think it's in the religion.
That doc, the Tiger doc on HBO is great.
I only watched the first one.
Oh man, it was crazy.
It brought back, my dad was pretty tough too, like that.
Was he? Like, not that tough. Really? I mean, you were a great player, dude.
For a reason.
Yeah.
I had no choice, or I wouldn't have dinner that night.
Was your dad really
no,
like that?
It wasn't that bad.
Holy shit, I thought we got a crazy soundbite.
No. This is the year Mike Vick was drafted #1. We already had him on here. Games with Names.
He was great.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
Miracle in Morgantown. Tune in. Out now.
Yeah, Miracle in Morgantown coming out soon. Or
it's already out.
We already dropped that bad boy. We dropped it like it was hot.
Bobby Bonilla Day tradition was born. Bonilla receives close to $1.2 million from the Mets once a year until 2035. He hasn't played in the majors since 2001. So this was 35 years of $1.2 million a year. That's insane.
Smart. Hey, a lot of guys don't know how to handle all the money at once.
Yeah.
But if you slowly get it, then you can't lose it.
That shit is so Mets, though.
So Mets.
So Mets. Brutal. But at least, hey, the Mets are at least fun again.
2000, 2001 in college basketball, the preseason rankings. #1, Arizona. #2, Duke.
Yeah.
And they played.
They were the squads. So we had this. The first team is Battier, Williams, Casey Jacobson from Stanford. I remember him. He was a shooter. White guy with the frosted tips, right? He could stroke it, yeah. Joseph Forte, UNC. He was fun to watch. Troy Murphy, Notre Dame, 6'11" lefty. He could shoot it too.
Look at you. You know your basketball.
I love basketball.
You love basketball. You got your little Knicks warm up on now.
I got to get the good vibes going. Jalen Brunson's here in New York. I got to fucking represent, man. We finally got a point guard.
Do you?
Oh, dude. You just
had
wait.
a point guard until he plays for the Knicks, and then it's just
Don't you
it's like
fucking
playing for the
dare.
Cleveland Browns.
Don't you dare.
It's like playing for the Browns. It's a career killer.
No, it ain't, dude.
I hope not. It'd be great to come here and see that
It's a career killer.
vibrant
I don't know.
city with a good basketball team. I mean, that's what we're missing here.
No,
in New York.
they're going to get back on the map. This is a year that we're competitive, and King Julius is back. And I hope this, what I'm saying, ages well here. And no, the Knicks are looking good.
Until they play the Celtics.
Dude, Browns, Knicks, that's Baker's Mayfield sucks in Carolina. What are you talking? It's not just.
Well, because he played for the Cleveland Browns.
No. The Knicks they're going to make a comeback, dude.
I hope.
That they got a squad. It's on RJ. He's got to deliver.
He'll get it.
Oh, dude, second team this year, Jason Richardson, Michigan State.
Jay Rich.
Jamal Tinsley, Iowa State. There was some good. Damn, these are a lot of good players.
Prince.
Tayshaun Prince from Kentucky.
I used to love him.
He was just skin and bones, dude.
He's on
Yeah.
the Detroit team. This is not a team, but
Yeah.
shout out.
That was a sick team, though. Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah.
I still remember
Wallaces, both the Wallaces. I loved Rasheed Wallace. That was like one of
The
my favorite.
coolest.
He was just a guy you didn't want to fuck with.
Andy was a skill guy.
Yeah.
Rarely are skill guys tough guys, but he could shoot the three. He would be great in today's NBA.
Unbelievable.
He was a great player.
That was a great team. They got that ship too.
Oh
In the
my
middle of
God.
all that.
Yeah, Billups was clutch. Rip Hamilton did
Johnson.
not stop running. That was a sick team. And they drafted Darko second that year instead of Dwayne Wade, Melo, Bosch, and they still won the fucking ring. That's how good that foundation was.
Yikes. What if Dwayne Wade played for Detroit?
That's what I mean. He probably would have been the sixth man that year. It's
They
crazy.
probably would have got two.
Oh, at least. If they had Wade, I
You
think
just
they
never
would've-
know how it affects the nucleus, though.
That's true.
You never know. You
But
can,
Wade was good enough. It didn't matter.
yeah. Player of the year this year, Shane Battier. We'll be hearing from here.
I'm pumped, dude.
He was just Mr. Duke.
And he won Defensive Player of the Year for the third time.
I bet you Coach K just loved Battier.
He's definitely
Like,
a coach's player. for
Loved
sure.
him because he doesn't say much. He probably does everything he's told. First guy in, last one out, plays defense. It's right up
Absolutely.
Coach K's alley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tournament number 1 seeds: Duke, Illinois, Michigan State, and Stanford.
Yeah.
Where was Arizona?
Were the Collins brothers on these Stanford teams? Who are we looking at?
Let me look real quick.
All right.
The Collins brothers.
Remember Jason and Jaron?
Mm-hmm. Seems like Stanford always has like a pair of brothers.
Yeah, what is that?
Didn't they have
The Lopez brother.
Lopez?
Yeah.
They
Damn.
got brothers.
Love the Lopez brothers, dude. Did the Morris brothers play on the same college team?
Yeah, they were at Kansas.
That's right. They were fucking fun, man. Love Marcus Morris. Gave us a great half a season for the Knicks. I'll never
This was the
forget it.
Collins brothers season. You're right, Sam.
Hell yeah.
Look at that.
I'm remembering, dude.
This was the season Bobby Knight returned to college basketball, but with Texas Tech.
Hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of liked Bobby Knight. I know he's got a bad rap.
He does it. People don't like him.
People hate him.
Yeah.
Is he canceled? I think he's canceled.
Yeah, but he's just canceled for being a dick, right?
He's
He didn't do
pre-canceled.
anything bad
Is
other
he-
than just treat people like shit.
Well, we don't cancel on this podcast.
Well, we don't, but we can't bring him back. What did he do?
I think he did some weird stuff recently on like a speaking engagement at the State Department. Like,
Yeah, all right.
But what was that though? What do you? I'm curious.
I think
We pull it up. We're like, he was on
I think
Epstein's
he's
flight
real.
logs.
I think he's like real conservative right,
Oh, really?
like far right.
damn.
I mean, Indiana,
Yeah, that's true.
pretty.
That's
You know,
a good
yeah, we'll keep that there.
point. Indiana. Enough said. Suck it, Indiana.
For the
I've been there. It's not a good state. If we're talking like actual state rankings in the country, it's bottom 10 without question. Indiana,
I don't like Indiana.
it's fucking. I've had some bad.
We
I've had
lost
some
a
bad
Super
times.
Bowl in Indianapolis when we played in Indianapolis, a Super Bowl in a fucking cold weather city, which was terrible. And then in 2006, at Kent State. We were going to Ball State, Muncie, Indiana.
Oof.
And we had to beat them to win the MAC or go to a bowl game. And we were like favored. And fucking Nate Davis and the fucking Ball State, whatever, Cardinals beat our ass. It was a long bus ride home.
I don't like Indianapolis. I remember I did a New Year's gig there at a comedy club called Crackers. I shit you not, that's the name. It's called Crackers, and I'm the headliner's New Year's. My opening act freaking buried me. He was a fucking Midwest guy. He would do kind of bad for his whole set, but his closer was unfollowable. He killed so hard. The closer was just this. He would go, I went to a Backstreet Boys concert recently, and they serenaded a woman on stage, so I thought it'd be pretty funny if I did it to a man. So he'd just bring a guy on stage and basically play a Backstreet Boys song, hump him, put a rose in his mouth. The joke was like, how funny is gay? That was the joke. And in Indianapolis, that shit killed. I had to follow that, and I bombed every night. The first night I was like, that was something. By night 5, I was like, fuck that guy. It's like my opener, fuck him. And it got weird in the green room. But that's an Indiana. Look, I played there many times since, but that one always stuck with me.
Yeah. Old Indy. That's on the shit list of. I like Indy. I don't like Indy.
You don't like it. We just trashed it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't save it at this point.
I mean,
what's done is done.
Peyton was there for a long time. I don't know.
No. They got that.
I'm an Eli guy.
I'm an Eli guy too. St. Elmo's Steakhouse, is that the one?
Yeah.
That place is fucking awesome in Indy.
Is it? All right, let's just put horseradish in our fucking thing and make everyone go, oh, I can't eat this.
It's good, dude.
It's all right.
And it's a good vibe. You can't knock the vibe.
I thought it was overrated.
Wow, okay. I mean, I was trying to find something redeeming about the city, but I guess there's nothing.
Because we went to St. Elmo's. Actually, we went to St. Elmo's for the Super Bowl. It was like a bunch of the players. And I was like a second-year player. And we did credit card roulette. And it was like a fucking like $8,000 bill. And I won. I was sitting there.
You lost.
I lost.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, oh, man, this is crazy.
How did you play roulette?
Well, they
spun it around?
Yeah, they just pick it. They pick it out of the hat. They pick a credit card out of the hat. Picked mine. And fucking, thank God, Welker paid for it.
Tell me you weren't, Welker paid?
Welker paid for it.
Why? Because he felt bad?
He's making $9.5 million. I think he felt bad. That's one nice thing he did to me.
Damn.
One nice thing. Thanks, Welk. Appreciate you.
Well, you didn't pay. I don't know why this is a good story.
It is, yeah. But I was terrified. I had anxiety for like
$8,000 is a lot.
Especially, I was making like $200,000.
Was Brady out with you guys?
No, it was like receivers.
Oh, okay.
Receivers and skills. I don't think Brady was there. No, he wasn't.
Shout out Wes Welker for that. That's
shout out Welk. Shout out Welk. We love Welk. Let's get into the teams. Duke preseason number 2 behind Arizona, coached by Coach K, led by first team All-American duo Shane Battier and Jay Williams. Battier had 19.9 points per game, 7 rebounds, 1 block, 2 steals. That's what he averaged. Won the Wooden Naismith AP Player of the Year award, the USBWA Player of the Year, the NABC Defensive Player of the Year. This guy's got more awards than I can even. He's got a lot of awards.
DPOY, HPV. No, I'm making the last one up. No, 6 future NBA players. We touched on it, but the one I forgot here is Dante Jones. Redshirt that season, but they had Duhan, Boozer, Dunleavy, Jay Williams, and Battier. Finished 36-4, second-ranked offense. I mean, yeah, high-powered team for sure. Road to the championship game.
What's up with their defense? It was 149th ranked? Come on.
Yeah, that's weird. They have all these great defensive players. Were they just playing good teams, or what the hell?
Maybe. Yeah, let me look into that.
Okay.
They won the ACC. And the road to the championship game was Mammoth, Missouri, UCLA, USC, and Maryland.
All right, let's go to Arizona. Preseason number 1, as we said, Lute Olson, 4 NBA future players, Gilbert Arenas, Richard Jefferson, Lauren Woods, who was a killer on this team. And we didn't even mention Luke Walton.
Head coach, Luke Walton.
Yeah, assistant with the Warriors and then the Sac Kings. Played for the LA Lakers. It was on.
He was a head coach for the Lakers too for like a half a season, right?
That's right. He was right.
Yeah.
Oh shit. You're in and out if you're a Lakers coach so often. Even if you win a championship, no respect. Frank Vogel, bye. I'm sorry he had one bad year when he had no fucking roster around him. That guy's a good coach.
Yeah, LA. They
don't appreciate.
No, they just probably they wanted to move on.
They finished 28-8, including the NCAA tournament. Road to the championship game was Eastern Illinois, Butler, Ole Miss, Illinois, Michigan State, which had a good team this year.
Michigan State always has a pretty good team.
They really do.
They're a good basketball school.
Wasn't Magic Johnson Michigan State?
Yeah.
Draymond Green?
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some
ballers.
Yeah.
The rivalry series dates back to 1961. They've met 9 times. Arizona has the series lead at 5-4. Haven't played since 2013. Arizona beat Duke in the Sweet 16 in 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Things we remember. Mike Dunleavy, 3 3-pointers in 48 seconds.
That's what I didn't get. I didn't so at the end of the game, there was like 30 seconds and they just kind of let it wind down Arizona.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't we play
They were up a decent amount, right?
Wasn't it? I think it was 10 points.
Yeah.
They just quit.
They quit.
They quit.
Yeah.
Come on, Zona.
Battier hit a couple clutch shots. And I mean, the putback dunk, the putback tip. Battier he took over. He took over when it mattered most. And things we might have forgotten. Arenas played with an injury suffered in the previous game. Could it have been a different story if he was 100%? I mean, possibly. Agent Zero was a fucking phenomenal player.
Killer.
I loved watching him.
Killer. Controversial calls. No call against Battier and Williams on Gardner, which would have been his 3rd with 9 minutes in the first half. No call. Gotta let the boys play.
Lauren Woods bailed out in the loss. Or balled out rather. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. I mean, he was a really tough assignment because I think Battier was on him a lot of the games, and he was just much longer than Battier.
He was. And Duke, they dominated this tournament. They won every game by double digits. I mean, that they were 2001 team of the year by far. Unless Gilbert Arenas may have played. Maybe. No.
Maybe.
Got hurt. Final score, Duke 82, Arizona 72. Duke wins its 3rd national championship, and Coach K congratulates the men, outstanding young men of Arizona after the game.
I'm thinking for the prop bet, this is the Gaming Corner presented by WynnBET here. I'm thinking for the prop bet, how many times can we get Shane Battier to compliment Arizona? A player in Arizona? Do you think we get like 3? Because he's a classy guy. I could see him giving into this.
Like, how do you make him compliment him?
Just say, man, like, how good was Gilbert Arenas? And see, he'll be like, oh man, if we can keep getting him play along, be like, dude, and how about Luke Walton?
Like, it's pretty crazy. He became like a head coach that hasn't really done anything with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and Lute Olson. I mean, that's the type of guy you want to spoon you if you're a player, right? We just keep going.
Big spoon or little spoon?
I mean, it doesn't matter as long as he's a spoon in there.
Yeah, Lute.
So we just get him to play along. I think we could hit easily 3-5, and we could hit 4.
4?
Easy. I mean, we can go 4 or 5. Is that crazy?
He's a classy individual. He's in. He's in. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're gonna
4 or 5.
4 or 5 is high, but I think we could do it.
All right, let's get
4, 5, 5.
And by the way, if he compliments without us prodding him, that still counts. All right, good. All right, we're gonna be back with Shane Battier right after this. But before we do that, let's take a quick break.
Let's take a break.
Football playoffs are coming up. Who's going to make it?
I am.
I know one thing for sure. I'll be betting on it using the WynnBET app. And if you want to join us, download the app and use promo code XGWN. Why those letters? I don't know. Seems confusing.
Very.
XGWN. And when you bet $25, you get $50. That's free cash money.
Wow.
Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older to participate.
Welcome, Mr. Handsome, Shane Battier. How you doing?
I'm living the dream, man. I appreciate that. I don't get that too often anymore, man. Thank you.
Well, what do you mean too often? You probably hear it all day. You got a smile of $1 million. I have one question though.
Yeah.
Do you have a full head of hair? And you bick it? Because it looks like you have a full head of hair, and you like that. That means you're even more handsome if you just bick it for fun.
You know what's funny? I got crushed in college because I had a super low hairline. And so, like, it was before Instagram and all that stuff. And so I would have been a meme of like super, super low forehead. So at this point now it's receding, it's running away from my eyebrows. And so it's actually normal now at age 44.
Wow.
But yeah, man.
Man. Well,
that's so manly though, that your hairline was too low. Fuck the haters, dude. That's awesome.
Who has a too low hairline?
You do, but I think it's cool, man. It's like your defense. Your hair's all over the body too, man. I love it, man. It's perfect.
Oh man. Well, look, I started cutting my own hair in 7th grade because I was tired of waiting in line at the barbershop. And so I'm a man who's about efficiency, and it was easier for me to just cut it in the mirror.
I love it.
And you could tell by the way he played. But before we start, we got to run through some of these accolades. His numbers hanging in the rafters in North Carolina at Duke. McDonald's All-American, Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan, an All-American elite defender. We already named off in the pre-tape all your awards. There's so many awards that we can't get through it.
2-time NBA champion, a Blue Devil great, and of course a 2001 national champion. That's the game we're talking about here today. Take us back to the year 2000. You're in Durham, North Carolina. What was young Shane Battier like?
I was very serious, very, very serious. I was always very, very disciplined, and I had one goal. I was going to make the NBA. I burned the ships. I was making the NBA come hell or high water. And my freshman year at Duke, I roomed with Elton Brand, first pick in the draft, William Avery, played a few years in the NBA. And, I'll never forget going into Coach K's office about 3 weeks into school. And I said, Coach, I can't live with these guys. I need my sleep. I'm getting my schoolwork done. I was a bit of a square. And so Coach K said, just relax and have fun. And so, luckily I had a great time with Elton and Will. The rest of the freshman year, I loosened up and learned to live a little bit. But I was very serious, very driven. And, I was there to make the NBA. And I didn't care about any other details.
Did they try to get you to party?
Yes. I had fun. For me, I was having fun, but again, it was a mission. It was a mission trip for me. It wasn't a party time.
How do they ease in a Shane Battier into drinking? Is it like beer pong? Because they're like, well, at least it's competitive. Like, what's the move?
You know what? I didn't drink until my senior year in college.
Wow.
I was psycho. I was super, super psycho. And, my wife of 20 years now, we dated in high school. She actually dumped me for the quarterback because he was fun and he would want to go and go to parties. And I need my rest. I need to go to the gym. So, she came back around. They all come back around, and I loosened up, and now I'm the life of the party.
Glue guy. Straight glue guy.
That's the competitor in him. He was like, I'm down for the count, but I'll get her.
I'll get her back.
I'll get her back, dude.
They all come back.
Sometimes you gotta let them. You gotta let a bird fly. You gotta let a bird fly, and then when they come back,
Yep. They know.
So take us back to the preseason. You guys are ranked 2 overall, or your preseason AP 2 ranking. Like, did you guys have this feeling in your guys' locker room that we have a shot here? Like, if we do things right, we take in the coaching, we stay disciplined, we take care of the little things, we're gonna have a run. Did you have those thoughts going in, and how did it go?
Man, if you didn't have those thoughts when you signed up for Duke, you're in the wrong place.
Especially this time.
That was the expectation. When you step on campus, we're winning the championship this year. And so you have to go back to 2000. Okay, so this was a little different time at Duke. We had just lost the national championship to the University of Connecticut. Rip Hamilton, Khalid El-Amin got upset in the finals. I think we were like a 10-point favorite, lost that game. Really good UConn team. Well, that summer, that was the first time that Duke ever lost players to the draft. Okay, so Elton Brand, sophomore, number 1 pick. Corey Maggette, freshman, 13th pick. Will Avery, sophomore, 14th pick. Trajan Langdon. And so everyone said, like, Duke's dead. they're dead because they'd never seen people leave Duke early, right? And so all that was left were a bunch of freshmen who were coming in: Mike Dunleavy, Jason Williams, Carlos Boozer. Those guys are young, they're freshmen. And then 3 holdovers: Chris Carrawell, Nate James, and Battier. And all the Duke haters were like, Battier is going to replace Elton Brand? Like, no friggin' way, no way. And so we had a very young team in 2000, and a great story that that sort of sums up my relationship with Coach K. That year, I was interning in Chicago at a public relations firm. Coach K calls me out of the blue. So I think he sensed that I had some apprehension about being the guy for Duke. And he said, hey, Shane, how's work going? Going great. I have a question for you. Did you wake up thinking about being the ACC Player of the Year, winning the ACC title, leading us back, number 1 seed next year? I sort of laugh and, Coach, click. Dude hangs up on me. Just hangs up on me. So calls back the next day and says, sorry about that, Shane. But I have a very serious question. Did you go to work today thinking you were the National Player of the Year? You're going to lead us back to the Final Four? I sort of laugh. Coach, click. Hangs up on me. Third day calls back and says, hey, Shane, sorry about that, but I have a serious question. Are you ready to be the National Player of the Year, National Defensive Player of the Year, lead us back to the Final Four and finish the job and win the national championship? I go, Coach, absolutely, yes, I'm your guy. You can count on me. And he said, look, we can't be that team unless you are that guy for us. And you can't be that guy until you believe you're that guy. And I never had anyone talk to me like that ever. But it speaks to Coach K's leadership and his belief in his players. And he really believed that I had to believe that I was that guy. And from that moment, I flipped the switch and said, I got to think like that. And so that 2000 year was a great year. No one expected much of us. We won the ACC, finished number 1 in the country, lost to Florida in the tournament that year. That lost eventually to the champions, Michigan State, in the finals with T and Cleaves. But we said, oh yeah, next year, it's our year. And so we came back in 2001, a year older, you're better, you're stronger. And we said, yeah, this is our time.
Wow. So Coach K, ultimate motivator. I mean, you expect that. What other tactics did he use throughout your career that you remember?
Coach K, I tell people always say, like, oh, what makes Coach K so great? He obsesses about his people. Jules, maybe, Belichick is like this, where all he thinks about is his team. He doesn't have any hobbies. He's not distracted. All he thinks about is, what do I need for my team? What do my guys need to be their best? And so, to a point now, even when he was coaching, we never called him and during the season because he was so focused on his team. He never saw me play one NBA game because he was so focused on his team. And with that, he just knew what each guy needed. And so when he recruited me, he knew, in high school, I could have gone anywhere I wanted to. And I had coaches promise me playing time, minutes, shots, all that stuff. Coach K comes to my living room and says, look, Shane, I'm not going to promise you shots, minutes, playing time. I'll promise you one thing. The opportunity to earn playing time every single day. And if you're good enough, you'll learn it. I'm looking around like, you're talking to me. I don't know about, if we're going to Elton Brand or Sean McLeod, Frazier Langdon, but when the dust settles, I'm going to be there. And Coach K knew my button was ultimate competition. That's all I cared about. Improving myself against everybody else. And, for teammates, other teammates, they need to kick in the ass every single day. They got to kick in the ass every single day. I'm not going to name names. Other guys needed more hugs, and they got hugs. But Coach K just was a master motivator because he knew his players, his teams better than any other coach in America.
I love the idea of him just pissing you off and you looking in the mirror like De Niro in Taxi Driver, like, he's talking to me. You're talking to me, Shane Battier. You know what was weird to watch? We rewatched this game and it was weird to see you're Duke, but it's like you're talking about people kind of sleeping on Duke all of a sudden. I mean, they're saying this isn't the most talented team, and I'm like, there's 5 NBA players on this team. Did you feel that disrespect?
No, we had a squad. We had a squad. We knew it. We knew we had pros. Look, when you have a team that's at that level and your goal is to go to the mountaintop, you just think differently about who you are. And it wasn't like we were like arrogant. We had a cockiness about ourselves that, yeah, we are one of the best. We think we are the best. And every time we walked into an arena, we know there were 20,000 people that hated us. And there was nothing better than walking into Coalfield House or the Dean Dome and seeing everybody leave about 7 minutes left. That was our goal. Let's get these guys out of the gym. Let's make them beat traffic. And 4 years we were 133-15, which was a record when I graduated. And so we won a lot of games by a lot of points. And so I don't think we were ever slept on. We knew that every time the schedule came out, teams would go, when do we play Duke? That was always the biggest game of the year. And so whether we're playing North Carolina A&T or High Point or Carolina, they're going through the schedule, circling that that game in red marker, because that was the game of the year. And so, Julian, as a Super Bowl champion, you're getting everybody's best shot every single night.
They call that a measuring stick team. You're the measuring stick team. Everyone circles you. You're the target. You're America's most wanted. And you get every week, it's everyone's Super Bowl or everyone's national championship. So it's hard when you're the target. And you guys have been the target you were target your whole career there. I mean, they're still targets. That Duke, just that tradition of what it is. And with I heard somewhere that you loved Grant Hill and he was a huge reason you committed to Duke. Is that true? And why did you love Grant Hill, which I used to love Grant Hill?
Oh, dude. I mean, Grant was 90s basketball. I still think of that Pippen crossover. Remember that? I mean, the dunk on Pippen. I mean, he had it all, I thought,
The funny thing about, I grew up in Michigan, huge University of Michigan fan. I love the Fab Five, love the Pistons. I hated Duke. True story. Hated Duke. I was cheering for UNLV when they were playing them in 90, 91, 92. And I'm just like, oh, man, Duke, Leitner, couldn't stand them, and Hurley. But I like Grant Hill. Grant Hill was different. And when he led Duke to the national championship in 94, he was my favorite player. And I said, I want to be that guy. And, luckily, he got drafted by Detroit Pistons, and I used to be actually a ball boy for the Detroit Pistons, and used to, wipe up his sweat and make him Powerade shakes and, full towels and get to watch Grant Hill practice every single day. And for me, he was my hero. He was like a superhero. And I saw, you could win, you could be classy, you could be tough. And so he's always been my role model. So I still think it's cool that I have his phone number on my phone.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's pretty damn cool that you were a ball boy, and now I'm sure you've told him that story,
Yeah, I got to live my dream. Crazy.
So Arizona, this team is stacked. I mean, this is another team. I mean, Agent Zero is on this team.
Richard Jefferson.
How good were you intimidated by how good this team was ever? Were you ever like, Gilbert Arenas?
I can already tell in his eyes he's not intimidated. No. But you can answer the question.
No, look, they had pros too. You always respect team with pros, right? And we knew they were really, really good. And, obviously Hall of Fame coach and Lute Olson. But look, that Final Four was crazy because you have to talk about the Maryland game before. So we played the University of Maryland. It was our fourth time playing them that year. You don't play teams four times, much less national contending teams like Maryland. We played them four times. The first time was the Miracle Minute, down 10 points, 55 seconds left in Coalfield House, come back, miraculous finish. We beat them in overtime, right? Season finale in Cameron, my senior night, we lose. They come in and beat us. We lose our center, Carlos Boozer, to a broken foot. We think we might be done. All right, we see them in Atlanta in the ACC championship game, and it was a Nate James, senior captain, tip in at the buzzer that won it. And so we had three epic knockdown, drag out brawls with arguably a top 3 or 4 team in the country. And then we play them in the Final Four, and we're down 22 points in the first half to them. I mean, they're kicking our ass on national TV. We're embarrassed. We're like, oh my gosh, we're laying the biggest egg. And Coach K, called timeout. Said, guys, we can't play any worse. So whether we lose by 50 or lose by 2, doesn't matter. We're at the Final Four. Just go out and let it fly. Have fun. So we come back, win that game by double digits. Crazy. So after that game, we're like, we're team of destiny. So I don't care who we're playing. We could have played, Jordan Bowles and said we are a team of destiny. This is our time, but we had to make it happen.
Jeez, I got a quick off topic. Have you ever seen Coach K dye his hair? Or you ever find his black dye? Did he? Yeah, no.
Everyone thinks that, and it's natural, man. It's genes. He's got those nice genes, man. I don't know how to explain it. But great hair.
Amazing.
Jesus.
It's amazing.
Let's get into the game. So Arizona starts hot. 6 of 8 in the first, or 6 of 8 in the first 5 minutes. You guys get in a little foul trouble. What's the mindset going in with some of this adverse situation early on in the game?
Yeah. I think one of the hallmarks of our teams was we never really panicked. We had so much talent, and we knew we deserved to be there. And so we were not hitting shots early. It's hard to shoot in a dome. We're in the Metrodome of Minneapolis.
Depth per section? The depth?
Yeah, it's just weird. You just feel like you're like in this huge space, and the rim seems just like it's floating out there. And so the depth perception is a little strange in a dome like that. So you never practice it. Arizona was really good, and so we just knew like once we settle down, we get back in the game. Jay Will, who was the best guard in the country that year, wasn't even close. Got into foul trouble. He was struggling, but we stayed in it. I mean, we didn't panic, and we just knew like, okay, we got to halftime. We're not playing our best ball. Our best ball's ahead of us still.
Yeah, and I mean, you had the tough task here of guarding Lauren Woods, who's such a long player. I mean, you're an elite defender, but this guy is putting up numbers on you. Is there any point where you're like, fuck, this guy, what do I do with this guy?
Yeah, 7'1". I'm 6'8", 215. So in college, it's a little bit different. You really can't get physical. In the NBA, you can use forearms and wrists and all that. But you get to play defense like this. And so like I really couldn't do anything. I was shocked that they didn't try to attack me more in the post because they knew I had to carry so much of the offensive load and just try to wear me down. But they sort of went away from him, which is kind of weird. And they had Richard Jefferson and Gilbert Arenas and Michael Wright and Jason Gardner. So they had really good teams, but he was a handful, and so I was a great defender. I was National Defensive Player of the Year, but it's tough guarding someone who's 7'1".
I can only imagine. It's like 5 inches. It's like 6 inches. 5 inches.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Coach K is infamous for working the refs. Coach K, he's talking to the refs. Hey, what's he saying to him? I have no clue. What's he do? What's his tactic? I think does he try to mentor him? Like, you guys are great young men.
Oh no. If you were courtside to hear Coach K talk to refs, you would blush.
Oh, any quotes you remember?
Well, enough. He would never degrade referees, but he would definitely call them motherfuckers. I mean, like motherfucker was like it was like saying like he or she, like he just always cussed, and he was on them from the jump. And so I think after a while, refs just are like, yeah, I don't want to deal with Coach K anymore. So like, I'm not going to call these crap fouls Duke anymore. But the funny thing about like playing at Duke, he's like, look, referees, they always award the more aggressive team, and if that's just your style of play, after a while, they're just going to be socialized to let aggressive teams sort of get the benefit of the doubt. Now, if you're passive and you're begging for calls all the time, the refs, they're human. They're not going to reward you. So our mindset was always just be the aggressor, keep the pressure on the other team, and make them make plays and make the refs make calls. And it was a really good formula for us.
So you go into halftime. It's 35-33. Anything that Coach K said in the locker room to get you hyped, or was there nothing that really needed to be said?
What kind of guy was he? Was he like attack? Like, was he? Because Belichick, he was more of, he never rah-rah'd you. He was more of like, we're gonna give you information when what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and then you guys go use that information. It was more like business. What was Coach K's way of of handling the guys in the locker room? Was he a guy that got rah-rah, or did he have like a player that was the rah-rah guy and he would use like good cop back? Like, what was the?
Yeah, it varied. Again, like he knew the situation, and there are some games where we're up 5, we should be up 12 at the half, and he comes in and just rips us a new one, and just spitting and cursing and throwing chairs, and we go out and win by 20. And there are other games where we come in very calm and say, look, just we're missing shots, we're turning the ball over, like let's just play our game. And so that game 2001, he was pretty calm actually. He's like, look, we have not played our best game. This is a very good team. Respect them. But we don't have to do anything different than what Duke does, but we have to be the best version of ourselves for 20 minutes. And so, like, he had a way of just giving us confidence. And the way he talked to us, we never had to, like, do something outside of, like, what we did the entire year or who we were as a team. It was a really, really interesting, unique skill in that respect.
It's crazy how like great leaders are, because that's he when you guys were flying high, he'd cut you down. When you guys were down low, he would fuel you guys. And I always remembered that with Belichick the same way. Like, we went out and blew out the Tennessee Titans by 35 in a snowstorm one time, and we get into the team meeting on Monday, and he throws on these low lights and he goes, you mean like we miss a fucking wide route or something, like an easy routine play? We just blew this team out by 35 points, and he's motherfucking me and Brady for not connecting on a garbage time fucking play, like, because we were flying high, we were feeling it, you know what I mean? Then there's another time where we lose a game and we just didn't have a good week, and he would come in and he knew where our spirits were. That's how there's a good leader. They know where the spirits are, and we're all expecting like, oh, he's gonna fucking murder us for this, and he didn't. He handled it differently because we needed that love. We needed that. We needed that confidence. We weren't confident at the time, so that's awesome to hear. And that's what Coach K sounds like he is, man.
That's leadership,
a leader of men.
And he is. Yes, we never felt we could fail ever. And so I don't know if that's like military mindset or whatever, but we always felt we did our job. Didn't matter who we played. Yeah, we had a great shot at winning.
So you come out of the locker room at halftime. Mike Dunleavy starts just becoming a flamethrower, just 3 straight threes in a row. You guys get hot. I've heard Richard Jefferson is blamed by Gilbert Arenas. What do you make of this? What do you make of Arenas blaming RJ for this Arizona loss? Would you have won regardless if RJ got hot?
I think it's hilarious. I love it. I love hearing those guys bicker. Look, Mike D got hot. Mike D was Mike D is my best friend in the entire world, still to this day. And so he was so bad, like during that run, he couldn't do shit. But like we never lost faith in him. I mean, he was our guy, and it was just one of those things. He hit one, and then you could see just him jonesing for the ball, and we found him 2 more times, and that was the game. That was the game. And you just need those single plays that happen in the game that turn the tide, and that was the play for us. But like, look, it wasn't Richard Jefferson's fault. I don't think that was his fault. I like to think we had something to do with it too.
Well, you had those clutch, you had the putback dunk, you had the putback tip. I mean, you kind of just closed that thing out. That must have felt pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like obviously I'm not super athletic, and those plays at the end of the game, like I didn't shoot the ball well that game at all, and so I tried to come out in the second half and try to make something happen, because I wasn't going to go out, scoring 10 points and not just doing everything I could. And so, it was crazy. Well, I watched that game. I don't know how I got the tip in. I tipped it in with the back of my hand down the stretch. And it was funny, like that dunk I had, I could have stepped back for the 3. I was feeling the 3, but like, I'll just never forget that feeling. I'm like, fuck it. Like, I got to dunk this. And like, I wasn't a big dunker, but like, I was so tired. It was like the last minute of the last game. I'm like, I got to fucking punch this. And so I'm like, I'm going for it. And I got the ball, took one dribble and punched it. And I was exhausted. I don't know how it went in. I'm glad I didn't get stuck there. But you know, we were so close. We're so close. Again, I would have died on the floor to win that game.
Wow. Is that when you knew it was over? After that dunk, you're like, we got this. I'm going back. We're going back. We got it. When did you
I'll
feel?
never forget that feel.
When did you feel you guys had it? Because you guys beat them by 10. There was a point where it was over.
It wasn't until I look over and Lute Olson goes like this. And it was like, 30 seconds.
I saw that. 10. Why didn't they were only down 10 points. I don't understand that. Like, why did they quit?
Without timeouts and stuff, it's hard to make a comeback.
I get it.
But I was still like we're up 10, and I'm sitting there still spitting fire and cursing, and then finally Luke goes like this with 30 seconds left, and I said to myself, "Oh shit, we did it! Like we did it!" And Jules, I don't know about you, but like you never win a championship like at that level. Like you actually don't know what it takes to win, right? You think you have an idea, you talk to people, but like the work you put in, you actually don't know until clock hits 0 and you're holding that trophy. And you're like, oh shit, like that was the hardest thing I ever had to do in the sport, right? And then it becomes like totally understandable, and you understand like why you did all that. But it's only crystal clear at that precise moment. And that's what I remember in that last 30 seconds, like, oh shit, like we did it. And that was so hard.
Especially, I mean, in championship games for us, I don't know how it is for basketball. I can only imagine because you guys are playing so many games so back to back. You're exhausted because of the emotions, the mental fatigue that you have for the focus that you put in, the actual physical fatigue that you have. Like I was always the most tired after games. And like you said, you didn't really know until you saw the hand wave by Lute. Like I remember after the what was it 16, the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl, where we won the game, and I didn't know if we won. I was still in competition mode because I thought they had to review it. And they're like, I go up to Belichick, we're hugging. I'm like, did they review the fucking play? Are we done? Did we get it? Are we in? He's like, yeah, we won. I'm like, all right. I was yelling at everyone, get the fuck off the field. It's not over. Because you're in that competitive mindset where like you're on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I totally get it. And you don't want to, you don't want to, the second you celebrate, you let up a second, and give the other team one chance, you could lose it. And that's like the worst nightmare of any athlete, any competitor.
Shane, who's your all-time starting 5 at Duke? 5 guys.
I get asked a lot. So I'm going to go Leitner. I'm going to go Hill. I'm going to go JJ Redick, Jason Williams, and Johnny Dawkins. I'm not putting myself in.
Wow.
That's a classy man. I expect nothing less. Doesn't even put himself in. He puts everyone else. Everything's the best for the team.
I got to ask you too, because you had such a cool NBA career. You were on some of my favorite teams to watch. I mean, that Rockets team with Rafer Alston, T-Mac, Yao, Scola. That must have been a fun team to be on.
Oh, it's a great team. It's a great team. We had a chance to win championships those years. We were never healthy. And T-Mac and Yao, two of the great players of that generation, just never able to stay healthy. We had some squads though. It's a fun team.
It's interesting. I feel like you're one of the guys that changed from one period of the NBA to the next, where now you're the type of guy that teams really seek out. And I think that really began in Miami when they saw what you brought to the table as a 3-and-D guy. Now there's like, you're almost the prototype. They're like, we need a Shane Battier type. You look at guys like Mikal Bridges or like, guys who play really good D and can hit that open shot. I mean, do you feel almost responsible for that in some way?
I don't know if responsible. It was born out of just need. Everyone says, Golden State invented small ball. No, Miami Heat invented small ball. I know because I was the small forward who became a power forward and got the hell beat out of me by, guys 50, 60 pounds heavier than me. And it was in 2012, Chris Bosh, our starting power forward, gets hurt. He goes down. We have no one to back him up. So Spo comes to me and says, "Hey Shane, we're thinking about starting you at power forward." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I just want to play.
Not a lot of
And
guys
I'm
would do
guarding
that, though.
Look, we're in the playoffs. We're going for a championship,
Yeah.
so it's all hands on deck. So yeah, whatever you need. And so for an NBA champion, we probably started the worst front court in the history of the NBA. The next game, it was me at power forward and Dexter Pittman, who I love, barbecue pit, at center. And Indiana beat us by 20. All right, we go down 2-1 in the Eastern
Were you
Conference
guarding
Finals.
David West?
Yeah, David
That's
West is beating the hell
insane.
out of me. And I'm getting switched off from Roy Hibbert, as I'm just sitting there trying to fight. And, no one remembers that because we win the championship that year, but we were down 2-1 to Indiana in the second round. And, we made some adjustments, but we went on a run and I just was the small ball four. And so there's shoot threes, keep spacing and bang with these guys as much as you can. And it paid off. And when Chris Bosh came back, he was the center. I was the power forward. And that, obviously we had LeBron, who was the ultimate skeleton key. But that was the dawn of small ball and at a super high level. And so I am proud of that fact that they selected me a power forward. And not only did we not only survive, we won a couple championships off it.
How do you win a national championship and then have to go to class?
It wasn't very fun.
Did you go?
We partied. I took a couple of days off. It was fun. It was a big party, and it was a rough week the next week. So I was a religion major. I wanted to finish strong. I didn't want to screw up my my GPA. So I took a few days off after getting back from Minneapolis, and we had a very good time.
You're such a well-rounded human. I've never heard an NBA player be like, I got to graduate with honors. I just got to.
Yeah, I could only.
I worked hard for 3.5 years. I wasn't going to screw it up at the very end.
No, I respect it, man.
Those teachers weren't going to give you no bad grades. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, don't give them a reason to, right?
You guarded so many great players. You played in such a tough era. Who was the toughest? I mean, I remember you having to lock down prime Kobe, having to face up. I remember your hand right in the eye on all those replays. Who was the toughest cover that you ever had to
it was Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe was a month older than me. May he rest in peace. The greatest competitor I ever played against. He and I had this weird cat and mouse thing going every time we play. He would come up to me and be buddy one day, and we'd be talkative. Next day he'd be ice cold, wouldn't even look at me. And he played this passive aggressive game with me that it was just one mind game after another. And I gave him nothing. I was like a stone. And so I didn't react to him. I didn't look at him. I didn't try to talk to him. I tried to just be like Eeyore. After every game, he missed a few shots, and I was, oh man, I can't guard Kobe. Look at it's Kobe Bryant. I'm just this schlup. He got, I got lucky. He missed some shots, knowing full well I had a good game plan against him. And he had big games against me, and he had games where I thought I got the best of him. But for my money, it was competition at its highest level. And that is what I miss. And that's what I miss. I'll never have a chance to have this conversation with him, to talk about the games within the game that we play with each other at the ultimate highest level of competition in the sport that we both love.
Man. Did we miss anything over this 2001 season?
Yeah, I mean, I think just when you look back at a championship run, you just never know how close that line is, and that's the story. And you look back at the team now, and you say, yeah, of course, Jason Williams, Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, Battier, Chris Duhon, pros. Of course, they were going to win. We won every game by 20 points. After Carlos gets hurt, the next game we go out to North Carolina, we start, Casey Sanders and Reggie Love. Reggie Love was a football player who was more known to be President Obama's body man. And they got to guard Brendan Haywood, who was, all ACC, all American player. We didn't know if we were going to beat them. Actually beat them by 10 at Carolina. We go to the ACC tournament. We didn't know if we were going to win one game. Ended up winning the tournament. And then in the NCAA tournament, we knew we were small, we were quick, but without Carlos, we didn't know our chances, and ended up winning the title. And so, in every great championship, and what makes championships so great is that there's a point in every journey where you just don't know. You might not make it, and you push through, and when you finally do, you're like, man, that was close. That was close. And like no one knows, but like the guys in the locker room. And so like that's what's special to me about championships. The rings and parades and the parties and all that's great, but it's testing yourself to the fullest limits and coming out on the other end.
Yeah, everything has to. People don't realize a lot of things got to go your way to win the ship, because some of the best teams I played on, we didn't win. We weren't healthy. We weren't playing right. Something happened here, a crazy call. Like, there's so many little things that have to happen in your favor to win. It's not just that easy. You got to go do it. What's the look of Duke University without Coach K? What should we expect? Is it going to go to? Are we going to turn into shit, or are we good?
No, hey, look, we're in great hands with John Shire. John he's smart and he's tough and he's a killer out there. You see by his recruiting class, I got the top recruiting class this year and next year, and working on 3 years from now. And look, you play for Coach K, you play for the best.
Yeah.
So he understands how to lead at the highest level, and we're excited. All the former players are supporting him, and obviously want him to crush it and do well, and he is. We believe in him, so I think we'll be all right.
Well, who's gonna go over and congratulate the losing team for their efforts now after games, and mentor them? Who's gonna do that? Is he on that same level? These are outstanding.
The Coach K chest pat. I'm gonna miss that. After a win, we shake their hand and give them a pat on the chest. And I know they had to piss off other coaches. It was great. So as players, we always laugh about that. So I'm sure Shire will have his own thing.
Did you ever see Coach K go into another locker room to give his kudos to a team for beating you guys?
Actually, yeah. I have.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I love Coach K.
Yeah, like there are a couple times. I mean, look, we lost 15 times in 4 years, and there are a couple times, every time we lost, basically fans rush the floor.
Yeah,
they beat us, right?
Yeah.
And so there's not really time to shake hands and do all that stuff. We're trying to get out of there and save our hide. So there are a couple times where Coach K will go over and just say, "Hey, guys, you guys played a great game. Enjoy it. You guys earned it." And
yep.
So he did do that.
You ever think about, you're a Michigan guy, you ever think about, what if I stayed home, played for Michigan State, and I teamed up with Zebo and Jay Rich?
Funny story about that. So, I graduated high school in 97, and Tom Izzo just got in the job. I love Coach Izzo. I love him. So he was fresh. He was green, literally. And he made the cardinal mistake. And I tell him this to this day. He came into my living room on my visit and said, "Look, we got the best weight staff in the Big Ten. We're going to put 40 pounds of muscle on you, and you're going to be the baddest motherfucker, the baddest power forward in the Big Ten." And I have Dean Smith and Coach K saying, "No, man, you're a small forward, man. You got to shoot threes." And I'm like, I'm with those guys. So I thought, man, you messed up. If you just said, you're going to shoot threes, you might have had me. But no, it's a great program, and I loved Iz. I just didn't want to be a 260-pound power forward.
So, yep, there it is. Tom Izzo, he fucked it up.
Players don't want to bang. I mean, it's like even AD on the Lakers. He doesn't want to play the 5. He wants to chill and shoot threes, right?
It's shortened your career. I mean, that's why I retired. 2 years of playing power forward at 215 pounds. By the end of it, I'm like, I'm done. I'm too old. I can't do this anymore. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you were banging with Tim Duncan in the finals.
Oh my
That's not fun.
Yeah. No,
large guys.
You got to do what you got to do. So,
but you got hot in those finals.
Out.
I mean, is that some of the best? That's got to be your best memory in the pro. Is just not missing a 3 in that finals run.
Well, look, again, we talk about how thin the line is. I was a small ball power forward the entire year. Getting the heck beaten out of me every single night. But I shot a career best 43% from the 3. All right, so that was my equalizer. So those big guys wouldn't come guard me. I banged them in the eye with a lot of 3-pointers. get to the playoffs, and I'm exhausted. I'm so beat up from banging the entire year and playing every single night and taking the load off LeBron and these guys. I can't make a shot. So I have like my worst shooting slump of all time and of like any level. And at one point I'm like 4 for 30 from 3. I can't like make a shot. And so I see my playing time dwindle to the point before Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I go to Spo before the game and say, look, I know I've been terrible. Like, I know. But like, I'm built for Game 7. I'm built. This is why you brought me here. I don't know what I'm going to do. You put me in that game. You know, I'm going to help us win, and I'm going to do what I do. And so the game starts. I don't play in the first quarter. I don't play by halftime. Third quarter, I don't get in. Fourth quarter, never took my warm-ups off. So it was the only time in my entire career I had the words DMP CD next to my name. Did not play, coach's decision, right? And so like I'm crushed. I'm like, is this it? Am I over the hill? Am I washed? Like, is this how it ends? And I was like depressed. So like, you know, drank a lot of beer that night, sang karaoke with my wife, got over it. And I said, look, if I get my chance, I'm going to do what I've built my entire career on. So I don't really play the first couple of games of the series against the Spurs in the finals. Game 4, I get in. Game 5, I bank a 3 in. I'm like, it's a sign. It's a sign. Game 6, I get in the game, make 3 threes. Game 7, I don't need to make a speech, but I get in the game. You know, first 5 times I touch the rock, start 5 for 5, end the game 6 for 8 from 3, score 18 points, win the championship. And
in Game 7,
no one. Game 7 in the NBA Finals, go 6 for 8 from 3, 18 points, and in a performance no one saw coming. You know, much less me. And so it's rare in anything you have like the lowest point of your career or your life in whatever you're trying to do, and the highest point of your career within 2-week period. And so I experienced that. And so I'm very, very proud of that run and sort of staying the course and being ready when my number was called.
Real quick, I have heard you're a big karaoke guy. What's your go-to song?
I always close it down with Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Ooh. Oh, great tune. Great album.
Great song.
Great album.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows
Damn. That's a ballsy one too.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a great tune.
Yeah, I love karaoke too. It's fun. It's fun to get hammered and sing into a mic.
It is.
Did you not? You didn't go. I heard you didn't go out and party after Game 7 though.
That was like, I don't know where that came from. Like, you know, I think D Wade was on Jimmy Kimmel and he showed that picture of me at Denny's. Like, there was they didn't show the timestamp. It was like 8:30 in the morning. So yes, I went out. Everyone's like, oh, Battier, like he's so square that he went from winning the championship, scoring 18 points, hitting 6 threes straight to Denny's to celebrate. Like, no, Denny's was part of that long evening. But no, I trust me, I did celebrate that night. I'm not that much of a square. I'm very serious. I'm disciplined, but that is the public perception that is a little misconstrued. So Denny's, yes, but much later in the morning, I guess you could say.
We actually might get Gilbert Arenas on here to talk about this game. You got any questions we should ask him? You got any inside jokes, or you got something you're curious about?
No, we got Gil on a tough one, and so he was a hell of a player. We were really concerned about him, and he was not the Gilbert that we studied film on up to that point, and so which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
I'm okay winning when guys have off games. I'm okay. I'm not that guy who says I want their best shot. I want to beat them. I was okay with it.
We'll tell Gilbert not to look back in anger.
Don't. Very nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, Shane, thank you so much for joining us, man. Is there anything we missed here?
No. 2001 is a great team.
Man.
Great team.
It was fun to watch this because we're both 36. And that was a huge part, of our lives. I was going into freshman year of high school watching these guys play, man. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
You need anything, let us know, man.
He was great, man.
Yeah, he's exactly how I expected him to be.
We got a few F-bombs out of him.
Got him, but he's just You could tell he's a glue guy. Good glue guy.
So
Great,
just
great leader.
pure winner.
Pure, does it the right way. He's got like Matthew Slater vibes where he didn't drink because Matthew Slater's never drinking. You know, like these guys that are very routine oriented. They're very respectful, like classy men that like that's what he is, man.
He's the dude in the movie, though. Like, if it's the Duke sports movie, he's the dude that they're like, dude, just get fucked up with us one night.
Yeah.
And then, like, late in the movie, he gets ripped, and they're like, yes.
And then he gets too drunk.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, like just they lose him or something.
We can't find Battier for the big game. He was great, though. I mean, and that, you forget how cool a game that is.
Yeah.
It took me back, for sure.
Especially with all the names, like we talked about it with him. There's a bunch of pros in that game, and that's when Duke was really the Duke, not the one and done Duke.
Yeah,
they were the.
I mean,
Duke.
even the team that we remember most recently with the big names that didn't win it, but Zion, RJ, Cam Reddish.
That's not Duke. That's not Duke.
They're all one and done.
That's one and done.
I mean, Battier was a senior here.
This is the Duke.
Yeah,
that's Duke.
Yeah,
the new Duke is Duke. This was the Duke.
Yeah.
Like the football.
No, I think he's right.
The football is called the Duke.
Yeah.
Not just Duke.
You know what I think of is Midnight Run? Mardukas. Remember that movie? Charles Grodin?
No.
Oh, it's fucking classic.
I got to get a movie list from you.
I'm going to give you a fucking... Oh, I'm going to
give me some movies,
I'm going to set you up nice, dude.
Fuck.
I'm going to set you up. It used to be like mixtapes back in the day, but now it's like you show someone you care with just like movie selections.
Yeah.
Remember giving someone a mixtape?
All the time.
Yeah.
You got to.
Don't look back in anger, baby. This one's for you.
You got.
Yeah.
I mean, you still share music. That's a huge.
You share
part.
music, but it's rare. I guess you do a playlist now.
Yeah, you do
That's
playlists. You still do it. It's just different form.
That's true.
It's just not as cool as when you're burning discs, CDs.
It took more care back in the day.
Mom, do we got any more blank CDs? No. Trying to make a playlist for my girl.
That was Will Ferrell Meatloaf vibes, man. Wedding Crashers.
The fucking Meatloaf. I never know what she's doing up there.
Still a classic.
Man, I just
Still a
watched
classic.
it.
Me too. It's
last
on
night.
Netflix.
Or 2 nights ago.
It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I have to give it a watch.
Even though I'm a Paramount Plus person. Let's settle the prop bet.
How do we do? How many compliments did we get out of Shane Battier on Arizona?
I only got 3. He said they got a lot of pros.
It's not
kind of a
pro.
Fact.
It's a fact. It's not a compliment.
fact.
He complimented Lute Olson.
Legend.
He said they were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
He complimented Gil at the end.
That's true.
I'm putting us at 3, so we didn't hit the 4.5. Sorry, guys.
It's tough to get that out of a competitor.
Yeah, but he's so classy. I forgot about the bet. I was so infatuated with him having such a low hairline that he bicks his head.
That's insane. I've never heard of a low hairline.
It's crazy. He's not even bald and he bicks his head.
Yeah. But it looks good. He's got like a shiny head.
Great shape.
Yeah.
Handsome. Good smile.
That's actually a form of defense I didn't even think about, the shiny head. Like Kobe's like, he's just looking at himself like, stop. You can't do anything. You're just catching the reflection.
Or you just you hit him with the thing when you hit your watch or something, the light.
You blind him?
Blind him and on the free throw line.
Let's jump really quickly to an Arizona Wildcat great, an NBA killer, Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas.
Agent Zero.
We got to ask you, because we had Shane Battier on this podcast, actually, and we talked about the Duke-Arizona game.
Straight trash. Straight trash, bro.
Yeah, what's your relation like with Shane?
You
were hurt though that game, right? You were hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt. I just hate all Duke players. Like, it's just one of those things that if they came from Duke, you just naturally just hate them. And he was on a team that defeated us. He was a great leader. He willed that team with his leadership. That and the refs helped, but he was a great leader for that Duke team.
Now,
that beat us.
Did Coach K come try to mentor you guys after you guys lost to them? Because he was known to like go into losing teams like locker room and say, "Hey guys, I just want to say you guys had a great game plan versus us, and you all are extraordinary young men."
No, I don't think he was coming into the Luke Walton, the Lute Olson locker room, making that type of speech.
And we're back. It was a great convo with Agent Zero.
Love Gilbert.
The legacy of this game. What's the legacy? This was like how many national championships does Duke have? 5?
So they
Coach
two
K
after
has
this?
5.
They won 2 after this.
They won in 2010 and 2015.
Who what were those teams?
They haven't won since then?
Right. 2010 was, let me see who was on that team. That was John Shire, Kyle Singler. That was the one they beat Butler. Remember Gordon Hayward at the buzzer?
Gordon
rimming
Hayward,
out.
sure.
And then
Gordon Hayward thinks he could beat me in ping pong because I went and trained at the facility at Celtics, and they got a ping pong table. And old Gordon Hayward, he's the champ on there. I'm over here cleaning house. He brings in custom paddle. I'm using like standard paddle. You can't bring custom paddle. You can't have custom paddle against standard paddle. It's like a different game.
He's Bill Murray and Kingpin with a special ball.
Special ball. And so like every time like we cross paths now, he's always like trying to bring up ping pong shit. I'm like, dude, why don't you let me use your paddle? Let me use your paddle to see how good you are.
Yeah, dude.
I
Fuck
don't know.
that guy, dude.
Nah, he's going.
Nah, I don't mess with Gordon Hayward, dude.
He's
And then-
got my back.
Nah, he's a good player.
2015 was when Duke beat the Frank Kaminsky Wisconsin Badgers.
Ooh, who was on that
Had
Duke team?
Quinn Cook, Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow, Jaleel Okafor. And the real heads will remember Big Cat was crushed that game. Former guest Big Cat. He said if we have him back on, he wants to talk about that game.
Wow. I mean, that was Tyus Jones.
They played who? Wisconsin?
Yeah, they played Wisconsin that year.
Tyus Jones did a big 3 on the Knicks last night. It really pissed me off.
I
Fucking
wasn't
Tyus
watching.
Jones.
I wasn't watching
Uh,
the whole Knicks.
Yeah. So what's the lasting image from this game? For me, I think one of them is definitely Dunleavy getting hot. Battier with the putback
Putback.
dunk.
We'll give it to it's the putback dunk.
Let's give it to Shane.
Got to.
What do you think it is?
I know the giving up at the end.
Giving up.
No timeout. All right. No timeouts. Reggie Miller hit 3 threes in like 10
Don't
seconds.
fucking, let's not.
I mean,
Don't bring it up.
why not?
Because that fucking game pissed me off, dude.
Why?
Because he fouled Greg Anthony. That's why.
But I'm just saying.
They didn't call a foul. He pushed Greg Anthony to the floor. He hit big shots. Ooh, I hated Reggie Miller.
Do you know what my lasting image of this interview is when he did the shooting. He did a shooting movement. I was like, man, he's got good wrist. You could just tell he's
Got
like
a good wrist. Yeah.
I wonder if those guys, I wanted to ask him, but we got out of it. I was like, can you just like make any, like when you throw your shirt in the hamper, it's always in. You never miss when you throw fucking something in the trash. Beer pong, he's killing it. I wonder with those guys and their wrist dexterity that they just can shoot everything. That's I don't,
Yeah.
How cool would that be if you could shoot everything and just make it?
I think he had a nice jumper.
I mean you could tell.
43% from 3 from a defensive player is absurd.
Yeah.
Do you think even he says Kobe when he shoots it? Like even like into the trash can?
That's crazy. You guard Kobe, but he's that iconic.
You
man.
could tell that was
heavy.
yeah, that was a little heavy. He
I mean, it's tough. Kobe is such an icon. If I'm just on like the Instagram Explore page and they're showing his package and the fadeaways and the dunks, I mean, it's like I get lost in a Kobe rabbit hole. I can't resist. It was just he was such a beautiful player.
That's what's on your popular page?
Yeah.
Very different from mine.
Just butts.
No, mine's like food.
I got a lot of food on there too.
And the lasting image.
Just slicing burgers and G strings. That's all.
No, I'm a fashion. I like fashion. Let's name this game. We got to start asking them more.
Yeah, about
Because
the game.
the dumper with Pence, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
We need to start asking the people the names that are in the game.
I'm calling this the year of the Battier because that's how you really remember the game. You can't just call it like the year of the Duke. This is Battier's senior year. He's kind of the leader. And by the way, it's pretty cool that he and Dunleavy are best friends still. I didn't know that.
No,
That's pretty nice.
that's college.
College, man.
College. You're always boys with the college kids.
They literally retired his jersey on senior night.
That's true. We didn't even bring that
insane.
up. So he was a legend before he left.
How do you go to class after? How do you go to class if
You wanna keep that
if you
GPA
look
up.
at yeah, clearly.
I've never heard. You hear Barkley like loudly be like, "I didn't go to class,"
Yeah.
and then we get Shane Battier, who's like, "Yeah, I wanted to be a star in the classroom as well." You know,
3 days, 4 days is gonna mess up the GPA. He's like, yeah, I missed 2 days. If I would have done more, I would have got the GPA. Look, no, dude, I went like 3 weeks without going to class. It didn't affect my GPA.
well, you think of athletes cheating off the smart kids, but I feel like the smart kids were cheating off Battier.
100%.
I feel like he was good everywhere.
He's a leader of men.
Leader of
What do you
men.
got, Jack, over there? I
Yeah.
see you giggling.
Do we need a GPA check around the host?
I want to know because I remember certain athletes. I remember Emeka Okafor had like a 3.5 and he got denied from Stanford, but he went to UConn. But I'm like, you're the best big man in the country, and you have a 3.5.
Well, we didn't know his SAT score.
That might be the it might have
We
been
didn't know
holding
his
back.
SAT score. And, Stanford being an elite school in an elite area, we don't just let anyone in there.
Damn.
I don't know why I'm saying we. I just live
I didn't
by
think
it.
you'd be on Team Stanford for this one, dude.
I love Stanford.
It's a cool.
Have you been to Stanford?
My
Have you been on
sister
that
went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How crazy is that campus?
It was the drunkest. It was the first time I got drunk was at like a graduation party for my sister. I remember we did a wine drinking contest. Me and all the young kids. I was like 7th grade.
So Stanford, we did a wine.
Well, there was beer and wine, and we started with beer, and then
We
we're like,
did a
let's drink the
wine.
wine. We'd start pounding wine, and I remember not knowing I was drunk because I was in 7th grade until I stood up and I started walking, and I fell flat on my face, and my dad witnessed the whole thing, and he had to run across a room and like carry me out.
Wine will always sneak up on you.
Wine
Even
is-
now.
Wine is a silly drunk. That's why I love wine.
Dude, I went to that, what is it, that French Laundry over in fucking Napa with Asaf. Asaf and his wife. His wife was pregnant at the time. And you go to this place and like they don't ask you like how they don't ask you what wine you want. They say, how much do you want to spend? So
Damn.
first off, I'm sitting there and I have like a little crowd around. I'm like, I don't know, like $1,000. I didn't want to say like 100.
You got to bring Wes Welker with you, man.
I know. So they go and they bring in the wine, and she's pregnant. He barely drinks, so I end up drinking like 2 bottles of wine. I couldn't leave. I couldn't get up because these, it's like a 13-course meal at this fucking place, and you get these little bites, and I get up and literally almost fall over. So I apologize to everyone at French Laundry. Unbelievable service, but I could barely get out of that place. I was like fucking falling over other fucking literally tables, like almost knocked the table over.
I love that. Damn.
All because of that sneaky wine drunk. It's so sneaky. All right, Jack, did we forget anything?
By the way, he did just say he drank 2 bottles. That's not sneaky. That's on you.
She was pregnant. She was pregnant, and
What do
he
we-
doesn't drink.
What do we forget?
Oh, sneaky! A lot of GPA talk this episode. We got a text here into the Games with Names hotline from Angie, Jules' mom.
What
Jules is Kent State GPA 2.35. We're getting.
was it?
Yeah, Angie remembers. I guess
He was a quarterback.
No way. I was higher than 2.34. That's wrong. That's false. That's fake.
Fake
That's
news.
fake. I had a 3.0 for a sec. For a
Respectable.
sec. Like nah.
We also got a little tip into the hotline that Battier graduated from Detroit Country Day with a 3.96, named the school's most outstanding student his senior year. What a guy.
Damn.
And then speaking of Kent State, we can't forget in this tournament, Kent State a 13 seed upset Indiana,
Let's go.
a 4 seed.
Yeah, this is this. They went to the Elite Eight this year, I think. This is with when they had Antonio Gates. No, that was probably like 90. Dude, we have low key. We're a basketball school at Kent. We would always.
Antonio Gates could hoop, right?
He didn't play football. He played basketball.
crazy.
He led them to the Elite Eight.
What an athlete that guy is.
Stud. We always had really good.
He's where do you rank him tight ends ever?
I mean, he's probably top 5.
He's
top
got to be
8.
right. He's got to be top 5.
His route running ability.
He was unreal.
Great for a long time.
That offense was on an LT and Gates.
Gates, Rivers. But the Chargers are the same Chargers. I mean, all right, dude, we get it. It's the same. It feels like the same team of those years right now. They got a lot of stars.
Yeah, you're right.
And they still.
He's a great QB though.
Who?
Herbert.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. But what are we doing, Staley? Why do we have to go for it on 4th down all the time? It's making me want to pull my goddamn hair out every time I see these people go for 4th down on your own 35. Dude, you just paid J.C. Jackson a boatload of money. You got a Bosa. You got Derwin James. Like, why are we going? All right, we trust our defense. No, just get points.
Not only that, but what are they doing in L.A.? San Diego's a great city. Let them have a fucking team.
I know.
They got the Padres. That's it. And who knows until they fucking leave to L.A. too.
Gotta give him a stadium.
They got to get a stadium.
They should have got him a stadium. San Diego deserves a team. I think the L.A. Clippers should be the San Diego Clippers. Give them their own identity.
That would be kind of tight.
That would be tight. Also, Kawhi's from San Diego. Make it happen. He'll show up on time to practice.
Bill Walton, San Diego, my guy.
You love Bill Walton, dude.
I almost asked him, "Did you see the Olsen twins?" I was gonna recycle your
Bring
joke.
it back, dude.
I recycle.
Let's score the game. What do you think? Oh,
You got more corrections coming.
oh, more corrections.
Oh, we got more
I'm sorry.
corrections?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to
This
cut you
was
off there.
also the first time the tournament featured 65 teams. Northwestern State beat
What it used to be.
Play-in game. 62, I believe.
Oh, they had the
Or 64, sorry, duh. So they had what they call the opening round game.
Yeah, it's like baseball doing that whole thing.
Yeah, weird. We also got what else we got? Bobby Knight talk. A lot of Bobby Knight talk early.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen Bobby Knight since 2017 when he was being investigated by the FBI and the U.S. Army for groping 4 women
Oh,
that worked at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
Yikes.
tough love.
Yikes. Yes, I haven't seen old Bobby Knight or that sweater since.
Old Robert Knight.
Something you see a guy with a flashy sweater, they're going to be investigated for sex crimes. Yes, that's a Cosby joke.
It's a little above me. Sometimes your jokes are too smart.
I've not been accused of that often. How do we score this game? Stakes got to go high. It's the championship game.
Natty. It's natty.
It's a 9-2. What do you think?
I'll go 9.
All right.
I'll go 9.
Star
That's definitely
power,
because star power is huge too.
huge.
Like
I mean,
we
it's
did.
not. I mean, we can't go too high because we've done Super Bowls here. We've done,
Yeah, we can't go too high because yes, there's a lot of pros, but are there a lot of Hall of Fame pros?
none. I don't think.
So
Right. So what are we going at? 7-8?
I'll go 7-8. I agree.
Is that
with 7.
respect? I don't want to disrespect because for college, you have to put it in the scope of a college game.
Right. Coach K, Lute Olson,
Oh, Coach K.
Gilbert Arenas.
Let's go 8-1.
8-1. That's an 8-1.
Gameplay. It's a good game until the end, I'd say. So you gotta give it respect. I go 8-1 again, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely
No?
closer than a 10-point game. The actual game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I mean. The score doesn't tell the story here.
Let's go 8-1.
The name, I mean, we got to go like 5 here, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Lower,
like
4,
3,
4. 3-5.
The year of Battier. We love you.
We love you, Shane, but it's just
It's just not. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't.
you know what? Let's give 4.
4.
3-5 is disrespectful. He was a great guest.
Great guest. Outstanding gentleman. Leader of men.
7-3 is. I mean, I think that's fair.
It is. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It brought me back memory lane. We never talked about what we were doing in 2001. We fucked that up in the pregame, huh?
Yeah, whatever.
It's all right. I love
It wasn't that interesting for me at 15, probably.
2001. Yeah, no. Well, follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. @Games with Names is the handle. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything you listen to, we are on. Rate and review. Leave a comment, because I'm looking for. I see all those comments in there. What was that one comment about? It was rigged. The Super Bowl 28-3 was rigged, and you could see it all over me and Danny's face.
Sorry about that. Sorry about writing that one, dude.
Yeah.
That is a great comment. The game is rigged.
28-3 truthers out there.
What the hell? Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. It's hard to be a Falcons fan, but
It is.
I mean, that's like football QAnon right there. That's brutal.
Yeah,
Damn.
some people can't handle the pressure.
You sure as fuck could, dude.
It either busts pipes or makes a diamond. That's what pressure does. My dad told me once, he goes, "You know what, son? Pressure, you know what it does? Either burst your damn pipe or it makes a diamond." I'm like, do we have burst pipes or something?
On that note, that's all for this episode of Games with Names presented by WynnBET. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks to our sponsors, and of course, the great Shane Battier and Gilbert Arenas.
Agent Zero.
Thanks for dropping in, man. I'm Sam Morril.
And I'm Sam Morril. No, I'm Julian Edelman. And we'll see you next time.